Welcome to Polished Pickup TV. I am your host, Trisha of the Polished Mage. We are going on to our episode 4 of Meet the Maker for the year 2025. I am super hyped for this month. We have none other than Mia of Kathleen and Co. Welcome, Mia. Thank you so much for doing this.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So I just want to completely preface this. I know it's a big question in the community, and a lot of people always ask. I know a lot of people always refer to you as Kathleen.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about the name of your brand?
Sure. So my real name's Mary. I go by Mia. That was like my nickname for years. And when I first started Kathleen and Co., well, right before I launched, my mom passed away. And so I thought it would just be kind of nice to honor her. So I came up with Kathleen and Co. And so that's where I got the name. Yeah, that's her name.
That.
Yeah.
That's a really good honor.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, she passed away about 3 months before I launched. So, which was absolutely devastating. And, as anybody else would know when they lose a parent. But yeah, so she was really excited for me to start, my nail polish business. And I was trying to open a salon at the same time. And so I just thought that would just like pay homage to her.
That's amazing. Do you still do hair?
No, I was a nail tech.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. That's like how I segue into the polish, like kind of like went through and I did nails for years. And then I just kind of organically came about making nail polish.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's the first one so far. So being a nail tech kind of inspired?
Yeah. So basically, well, here's how I found the indie world, because I had no idea there was an indie polish world. And I would say it was like 2013. I started looking for I don't know if you remember, OPI had this collection. It was like a summer collection and it was hollows. Do you remember that collection?
The designer.
No, it wasn't designer. It was a summer. It was like a real small collection and they had hollows and they were kind of like jelly. They were linear, but they were kind of jelly-ish. It was like just a summer thing.
Is that the collection that had my private jet? Is that it? That's the black hollow?
No, it had like Cinderella, Day at the Peach, Crimson. That was actually from 2003. But 10 years later, I'm looking for this collection everywhere online and I couldn't find it except for really expensive, I think on maybe eBay. And so somehow in like my searching, I discovered indie nail polish. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I just thought, well, maybe I should start making my own, I was just getting a little bit disillusioned with the OPI creams and, basic shimmers. So yeah, I just started researching and then playing around with it. And yeah, that's how I came about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
So you've been I know you've been around for a while.
Yeah, I launched the beginning of 2016. So I had my first Mardi Gras collection then. And then I actually stepped away for a while. I opened a boutique salon, which just had nails and hair and skin. And then it closed in 2020 when COVID happened. And so I pivoted back to the nail polish. When COVID happened, I didn't know what I was going to do. And so like the nail polish saved me, really. I had the salon and we weren't opening back up. So I was like, what am I going to do now? And I'd been doing PPU for a couple years and I was releasing little collections here and there. But yeah, I decided to do it full time and I'm so happy I did.
I love that. Yeah. I love that through something I love hearing stories like that because through something, as ugly as 2020 was, for a lot of people financially, especially, I love that, Kathleen and Co was like, that's really cool. That's special.
Because I had no idea what I was going to do. I mean, I was like panicked like everybody else who had a business and you have to close. And yeah, so the polish really did save me.
Wow. Do you still do your own acrylics or anything?
No, I was more natural nails, gel polish, hard gels sometimes, but yeah, no, I don't do my nails ever, ever, ever. No. It's crazy. I'm like, I did this for a living for like 21 years. I've been a nail tech for 26 years now, but
Oh,
I did
wow.
it for a living for 21 years. And you would think I would still do my nails, but no, they're always torn up from, protos, swatching protos all day, every day.
I feel
So
like that's like a common thing with makers. It's like, like, oh, what's on your nails or anything like that. And they're just like, prototypes.
I mean, that's what I got going on right. Well, this is my next collection. We'll talk about that later. But look at this
Okay.
hand. It's horrifying. Like, picked off my gel color. But anyway.
I feel that. I used to be a bad picker too. Yeah, no, I get it.
I always tell people, don't pick off, like, that's like the number one thing. Just don't pick off your gel color. And then I turn around and do it myself. So anyway.
Yes. I used to be in the lab and wearing the latex gloves when I was working on my thesis or anything. Oh my gosh, the humidity in the gloves. When I got back to my office, I would just be able to peel those suckers off. And it was satisfying, but like awful for my nails.
Like gross feeling too. Yeah.
It's like I guess a weird, I know there's other people out there who are like, okay, I get it. Like the peeling thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like when you peel off latex on your, I know when I'm swatching.
When you're a little kid, you put glue all over your fingers and would peel it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was that kid.
I was
put it all over my hand. What is your favorite polish you've ever made? Do you have one?
Gosh, I don't even know. I have some that I really, really love that I'm like, okay, I can, understand why people like this. I mean, obviously I want everybody to like all my polish, but there's different strokes for different folks. Right. But, I would say, is this just like a favorite polish in general or favorite like PPU?
Yeah. Any polish that you've made.
I really loved Cornflower. I don't know if you know that one. It's kind of like a cyan base with like a really glowy pink shimmer. Molten Sky, which is a PPU. That's a magnetic. I'm really loving magnetics right now. Like that's kind of what I'm obsessed with.
You're doing them ridiculously well. I have to say.
Yeah, they're really fun. And I love the effect and different,
I recently got the horseshoe magnet and I am like, what a game changer. I used to be like, oh, magnetics, it is what it is. But now I'm like, okay. I see the appeal.
One of those, I still don't have one. So I was actually looking into getting them for the shop, so I might be carrying them in the future. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely need to get those to play around with them. The wand with the little circle on the end, the circle magnet.
Yes.
Probably my favorite. I love just maneuvering that. And you know what I mean? So
yeah. I've seen people like do the velvet effect with one of those, but
that's how I do
don't
it.
have the patience. Really?
That's how I do it. I just hold it on each side and then it gets the velvet effect. And then, yeah.
And you keep going. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a good technique if anyone's wanting to try that out. That's interesting. Yeah. I do like to ask, what is, if you could force a theme for polish pickup, I'm talking anything under the sky, like anything. If you could force it, it could be a theme. It could be.
What would you answer? I have
honestly, I would do an entire month of glitter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I feel like glitter.
All thing. It would be, and I know so many makers would be like, I hate you, but like, glitter crellies, micro glitters.
Hollow glitters,
yes.
Like there's so much you can do with the big chunky glitters. I think would be fun. Yeah. Glitters is a good one. I don't know, probably exotic animals or like, not farm animals, but like maybe tigers and lions and birds. I don't know. Maybe some music again. I feel like we haven't had a music theme in a while.
No, we haven't. It has been a minute since we have.
I would say something music because a lot of my polish is named after or inspired by different songs that I love. So to me, yeah, that would be a good one.
That would be. I really enjoyed the Misheard Lyrics Month. That was a lot of fun.
We did have, so that was music related. Yeah,
I really. That was a while ago, though.
Was it? Yeah,
I think so. It had. I think that was about a year ago. I want to say. But
yeah, at least. Yeah. That was a good one. That was really fun, actually. My polish wasn't the, I did a chartreuse. So it wasn't.
hey, yellow, it's especially chartreuse. It's such a polarizing color. It's just,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
it's like Pruglies. You either love it or you hate it.
It was kind of Prugly. Yeah. It was, but I loved it because it was yellow Leadbetter, Pearl Jam, whatever. So,
Oh, it
but
makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah. As far as PPU goes, I would say my favorite would be Ghost Manor. I don't even know what that theme was. Haunted, maybe something haunted, ghostly. I don't remember the exact theme, but that was also, yeah.
I wonder if that was one of the Halloween months. I do remember that polish. It was very pretty.
Yeah, it was September, I think, of 2022, maybe 23. I can't remember what year it was, but yeah, that was probably my favorite.
Oh yeah, was that Haunted History? I think it was No,
Haunted Locations. I have no
something
idea.
like that. Yeah, it was something like that. No, I remember that one. It was really pretty.
Yeah, that one was based in was inspired by this place in New Orleans that I love, which is called Ghost Manor. So yeah.
So kind of adding on to that, is that your general creative process? Is it usually you're listening to a song or something and just kind of creative juices start going?
I don't, I usually try to think of a collection. Like I try to have a theme. I'm not always the best at sticking to a theme because I'll start making protos and like I'll just go off on this like proto making rampage and I'll make like 20 or 30 protos for one polish. Like I'll think, okay, this is the idea I have in my head. And then I just start, kind of like a mad scientist or whatever. But yeah, I get inspired by music, flower. I love flowers. I don't know. I know it's like kind of basic, but that's what I like. I like kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the word. What is the word I'm thinking of? Like ethereal kind of moon, space, sky type situation,
Okay, yeah.
I can't think of the word.
I'm kind of drawing. I know what vibe you're talking about, but I'm totally drawing a blank.
Yeah, like a mythical vibe. I like that type of thing.
Celestial type of thing.
Celestial. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, yeah, celestial. So that's kind of what I'm into. Yeah.
So just do you go hunting for it, or are you like, driving home, you see the moon and you're like, oh, that would be a great inspo?
Oh yeah. Cars inspire me sometimes. I'll see like a car and I'm like snapping pictures of cars and, just so I have an idea in my head. Like, I just think that'd be cool. Like I'll see colors out. Or like a really pretty flower that I've never really made something like that. Let me,
Because honestly, it's like inspiration can be found anywhere.
It really can. I mean, and that's why I love PPU. I like being told like, here's our theme, kind of have at it. So I feel like it lets makers just be super creative, which is hard for me to do. That's why I like PPU because I'm like, okay, I'm sticking to this,
When you're looking to make a PPU polish, and y'all, for our audience who don't know, makers get told the theme 2 months in advance. That way they can prep, they can do their prototyping, get to swatchers, all that kind of stuff. When you do your polish pickup stuff, do you have a process to that? Is it something that you you go look up a bunch of information on, or is it just something that just kind of hits you in most times?
Like sometimes, I mean, I think it's both. Sometimes it really hits me like for Misheard Lyrics, I knew for sure I wanted to do Pearl Jam because I'm the worst at lyrics anyway. And Pearl Jam, well, so that was like one I knew right away. That's what I was doing. And then, yeah, sometimes I go hunting. If it's something that I'm not super, excited about or interested in, I'll start looking up, just ideas for the theme. So yeah, that's kind of my process.
I like that where it's like you don't box yourself in,
I mean, there have been months where I did, and some other people know that I will get hyper focused. Like if there's a theme and I have an idea, it's like I will stick to that and I won't stray, and I'll kind of like go overboard with it, trying to like, stick to the theme and match my inspirations or whatever. So yeah, I kind of do both.
We kind of touched on this a little bit in last month's episode with when I discussed with Tyler. He was talking about prototyping and things like that. When you prototype, do you also have like this magical book somewhere, or is it just something that you just kind of go along with? It's all up here, and that's it.
No, I write everything down. Like I come up with ideas, I write down my ideas, and then I make a ton of protos, probably too much. And then I will come out with a collection, and then I will go back and edit it, add more protos, take things away. It's kind of ridiculous, actually, how much I work on protos. Yeah, I'll spend a lot of time. I'm coming up on 2000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 2000 that have written down. That
Oh
doesn't
my
include
God.
all the
How many
ones that
books is that?
what's that?
How many books is that?
4. Yeah,
Wow.
I'll maybe write 3 or 4 on a page, sometimes 1 on a page. It just depends. But yeah, I have these,
Wow.
I have these little notebooks that are, they're uh, kind of small, but yeah, I keep my recipes all in there and, yeah.
That
So,
is so freaking neat. I love that. Because,
yeah.
I mean, that takes a certain level of organization.
Oh, I'm not organized at all. That's like the only part of it that's organized. My husband can tell you he's probably like, because I save all my protos, unfortunately. So I think I'm at 1980. Yeah, I'm sure
Wow.
he's ready to just like throw it all out because, and there are a lot of them that they'll never see the light of day. They're ugly or whatever, but I don't know. Keep them. I don't know. I'll probably go through eventually and maybe get rid of the ones I know I'm never going to use, but yeah.
Oh my, do you have them up on display? In my head, it's like they're on display on a wall or
So
something.
they're not, they're all over, all over. I mean, like they're all over my house. They're all over like my workspace. They're all over like, yeah, the Airbnb that we had before COVID. So
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, they're everywhere. And I keep a lot of them in trays. You know the trays, right? Have you seen the
Yep.
trays? Yeah. So there's like in our like extra space, we have a table and it's just got trays of polish on it. Yeah, it's really kind of like a hoarder of polish, basically. Yeah. Well, pigments. I do the same thing with pigments. I love pigments, so I kind of hoard those too.
I often joke about that is I think those of us into nail polish, especially indie polish, we just like to collect or hoard. We like to collect these shiny things, and it's hard. It's
hard. I've tried going through and getting rid of sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I tried going through and getting rid of like bags of glitter. I mean, I don't make a lot of glitter polish. I hardly at all, right? But I just can't let it go because it's shiny and twinkly and pretty and sparkly.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what do you collect?
I feel like, even being into indie polish for so long, I have like my personal collection. It's several thousand polishes. And even after, swatching, I still have to destash and stuff. And even still, I'm still keeping typically like a good at least 150, 200 bottles because it's just they're like little bottles of dopamine, you know? And
That is true.
it
They really
is.
are.
It
Yeah.
is true. And it's like, you know, a lot of times, like, especially my oldest things in my collection, it's, I can tell you what was going on in my life when I bought, say, 2 or 3 bottles from this collection, or, I had to have this whole small set, things like that. And it tells a story of who I was over the years collecting. And it's, I imagine it's like that with your prototypes.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, after my mom died, I sat in this room and made nail polish a lot. I just made tons of protos. And at that time, it was kind of like the only thing that gave me any like solace at all was making nail polish, And so maybe that could be why I'm hanging on to the bottles. I don't know, and it's kind of sentimental. I like to see where I came from. Like, clearly the maker I am right now is not who I was, 9 years ago, 10 years ago. I've definitely grown and learned some things. And it's kind of fun to see the bottles I made back then to what I make now, the difference. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. And then, I love nail polish. I mean, obviously I've kind of spent my whole life doing it, my whole adult life. And so, yeah, it is hard to throw bottles away.
Yeah.
Because you love them. They're just pretty and shiny, and they make me happy.
It's interesting you would touch on that with your mom passing. In 2013, my dad passed.
I'm sorry.
And it was it's real complicated. And I totally resonate with that, because there was anything I could find that would bring me that dose of a memory or something like that, I was trying to do. And it's funny because I think it was either that year or the next year, a polish had released a prototype called something, Count Chocula's Cape. It was a bespoke batch, and then there was a prototype of it. I ended up getting my hands on it because that was his favorite cereal. Aww, and there was it was a couple months that every time I saw somebody destashing one of the prototypes for it, I had to get my hands on it. And thankfully now I've gone down to where I just have one bottle of prototype, and I have the bespoke batch still. But it's still, I totally get that. It's like a sticker collection. It's like anything like that. You can mark it with where you are. I can tell you when my son was born in 2012, what was in my collection, and I still have some of those polishes.
It's special. It's like a special part of your life. So yeah, I love that. And I love the Count Chocula, how it gave you some comfort.
Yeah,
it's special. I like that.
That's beautiful. I love that though. I love that. I don't typically talk to people about that, but when this is going to go public, but it's really cool to talk to somebody else who it's almost like you went through grief.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it helped cope.
It did. Cause I mean, really, it's devastating. And so when you have something that you can find some joy in, you just kind of delve into it, and it just gives you some solace and comfort. Yep. So, and that's what the polish did for me. Yeah.
You're getting me misty-eyed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're totally fine. Oh my gosh. That got real.
Aw, well, I try to be real, but
yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I'm hoping somebody's going to be watching this, and I think they're going to really resonate with that too. I love that.
I've had a few customers reach out and, give me some feedback, like meaningful, how the polish affected them for like their wedding, or, somebody passing away. I know a customer had asked me to make like a custom polish when her husband passed away. And that was probably, I will say, that was probably one of the bottles of polish that I was most proud of, because she had submitted a photo, and I really felt like it looked so much like what I thought the photo looked like. Mm-hmm. So, and the message that I got afterwards was just really beautiful and sweet. And yeah, I love that sometimes they have sentimental value to people.
Yeah, that's magical. I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah. So I always appreciate, emails when people tell me what the polish means to them. So, because sometimes it doesn't, you forget that what it means to people, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's good to hear that sometimes, but yeah.
It's art. It's art.
So yeah, it's just a different medium, right?
And you literally in those cases, you locked a memory. I'm sounding all like gratefully now. You locked a memory in there. That's really cool. So just to kind of, I know we're about to, we got 6 minutes. Okay. Just to kind of go along with that, I know some people might ask, do you do customs for people? still?
So sometimes it's not, it's kind of rare right now just because I am busier and I don't have as much time and I am a little scatterbrained. And I wish I could make everybody a custom. I do. When people ask me, can you do a custom? It's so hard to say no because it is really fun, and I know it has some meaning behind it, but sometimes I will. Not always. I don't, if I have the time, I will totally do it. But yeah, it's hard for me right now.
I don't want, just in case, I don't want your email to be like flooded with people, asking
I
and stuff.
understand it. I wish I could.
I guess we'll end this on a little bit of we'll kind of uplift the mood a little bit. Let's what's your favorite animal?
I mean, I love dogs. I love my boys. I have 2 little dogs right now that are just the sweetest. And so, and I love horses. I love all animals. I'm an animal person. So I was one of those kids like would go to a farm and I would just be hanging out with the cows and pigs. You know what I mean? Well, not the pigs, but I would stare at them like, you know what I mean? I was fascinated by animals, but yeah. So I like all animals. I also have a collection coming soon. If I
please.
I don't have. So I have this collection coming in May. I try to do every year in May, like a rainbow collection. I missed last year. I didn't get to do it, but so I do have this year. I have rainbow reflectives. So they're right here. There's the blue one. So these are like, and you can kind of see them on my nails too. I was trying to, but yeah, they're it's all rainbow reflective. And then I have a charity polish for the Trevor Project, which is also a reflective that's going to go with these. Just working on that right now. And so that's my collection.
So that's all the time that we have for today with Mia of Kathleen and Co. Again, thank you so much. I think this was such a emotional interview, and I love it so much. I love connecting heart to what all of this is. It's awesome. Be sure to catch her in next month for May. It's Tropical Forests for May.
Yeah.
And lots of pretties to check out there too. Remember, Polish Pickup opens the first Friday of every single month, and wish listing happens the Sunday before. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next month for next month's Meet the Maker.